900 Trans Am, big block muscle cars, forgotten classics, and hidden gems under $5,000. These old school projects are still out there, but probably not for long. Number 1. 1979 Oldsmobile 88, $4,700, Cross Plains, Indiana. This 1979 Oldsmobile 88 looks like a very honest survivor with just under 78,000 original miles. The seller says the car starts right up, runs smoothly, and still carries most of its original components, including the small block 350 V8 with a 4-barrel carburetor. The silver exterior shows some fading, small dents, and age-related wear, but the body reportedly has no major rust issues. Inside, the blue interior is not perfect, but still presentable, making this feel more like a usable vintage cruiser than a full restoration project. Number 2. 1975 Cadillac Deville Coupe 2D, $4,900, Genesee, New York. This gold-on-gold 1975 Cadillac Coupe Deville comes with a massive 500 cubic inch V8 and a long list of replacement parts already installed. The seller mentions new exhaust components, timing chain, carburetor setup, tires, and several other mechanical updates. The car runs and drives, although it still has a few issues to sort out, including a starter grounding problem and a ticking noise once the engine warms up. Overall, it appears to be a large luxury project that's already had some money invested into keeping it on the road. Three. 1979 Ford Granada, $4,900, Chesapeake, Virginia. This 1979 Ford Granada is presented as a mostly original driver with a 250 inline-6 engine and automatic transmission. The seller states the car recently received a new battery, alternator, gas tank, and tires, along with a fresh service. The white exterior and blue interior combination gives it a very late 70s look, and the original paint is still reportedly in good condition. With power steering, power brakes, and a claimed strong running drivetrain, this sounds like a simple vintage cruiser rather than a heavy restoration project. Number 4. 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix, $4,400, Erie, Michigan. This 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix is clearly being sold as a project, but one that still appears mechanically active. The seller says the steering and suspension feel surprisingly tight, while the replacement 400 V8 and transmission are both functioning properly. Cosmetically, the car needs restoration work, including brake repairs, exhaust work, and body attention in certain areas. Still, several panels are described as clean and solid, and the included extra Pontiac wheels add a little value for someone looking for a long-term classic project. Number 5. 1969 Lincoln Mark III, $5,000, Imlay City, Michigan. This 1969 Lincoln Mark III appears to be a large luxury coupe that has already received extensive maintenance work. According to the seller, the brakes, cooling system, fuel system, tires, and transmission service have all been addressed recently. The body is described as solid overall with only surface rust, while most lights and accessories still function. The power windows need attention, and the vinyl top shows age, but overall, this looks like a complete and drivable classic that hasn't been heavily modified.
Number 6. 1978 Pontiac Firebird Formula Coupe 2D, $3,700, Cowpens, SC. This black 1978 Pontiac Firebird Formula is being offered as a running project with several performance-style upgrades already installed. The seller mentions a strong running engine, Holley carburetor, headers, honeycomb wheels, and new tires. The deal also includes extra body parts like fenders and a shaker hood. It currently comes with only a bill of sale, although the seller claims the VIN is clean and a title can be obtained through DMV paperwork, making this more suited for someone comfortable with project car paperwork. Number 7. 1970 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D, $4,700, Norton, Ohio. This 1970 Ford Mustang project comes equipped with a 351 Windsor V8 and automatic transmission. The seller says the car runs and drives around the yard, although it hasn't been road-driven in some time. The gray exterior and green interior combination gives it a very period-correct appearance. It's described as a project car with several new parts already included, making it look like a restoration that was started but never fully completed. 8. 1975 Chevrolet Corvette Coupe 2D, $4,900, Sterling Heights, Michigan. This 1975 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray still retains its matching numbers engine and reportedly has only around 50,000 miles. The seller states the engine runs well and the undercarriage is in very good condition. The main issue is the missing transmission installation, meaning the car is not currently road-ready. Even so, for someone wanting a mid-70s Corvette project with a reportedly solid underside, this could be an interesting starting point. Number 9. 1976 AMC Hornet, $2,000, Denton, Maryland. This 1976 AMC Hornet is a budget-priced driver with a clean title and a running 258 engine. The seller says the car runs and drives, and it also features Mustang wheels along with a Mopar rear-end setup. The main visible issue mentioned is damage to the right front fender, along with wheel stud work needed at the front. Even with those flaws, it still sounds like a complete and usable classic for someone wanting something different from the usual muscle car projects. Number 10. 1979 Pontiac Trans Am, $900, Marklaville, Indiana. This 1979 Pontiac Trans Am is being sold mainly as a parts car or heavy project. The seller explains that the car has no title or VIN numbers and was previously being turned into a drag-style build. The 403 Oldsmobile engine is seized, and much of the interior is missing, although the Turbo 350 transmission and several driveline parts are still present. At under $1,000, this feels more like a donor car for parts collectors rather than a straightforward restoration candidate. Number 11. 1974 Volkswagen Beetle, $5,000, Celico TN. This 1974 Volkswagen Beetle is presented as a mostly usable classic driver with a manual 4-speed transmission and a recently refreshed interior. The seller says the interior is basically all new, while the engine sounds strong and the car shifts properly through the gears. Mechanically, it appears to be running and driving without major issues. The seller mentions a recent carburetor replacement, although it still needs adjustment. All lights and basic functions are said to work, which is always a positive sign on an older Beetle. The exterior shows some age, including rust around the running boards, but the seller describes it as minor rather than severe. The beige and black color combination keeps the classic Volkswagen look simple and period correct. Overall, this sounds more like an older driver quality Beetle than a full restoration project. It may still need small tuning work, but it appears complete, road usable, and largely intact for the asking price. Number 12. 1971 Plymouth Duster, $2,700, Delmar, Delaware. This 1971 Plymouth Duster stands out mainly because of its documentation and originality history. The seller mentions factory paperwork, build sheets, registration records, original manuals, and even dealership information still included with the car. Under the hood is a 318 V8 paired with a 3-speed floor-shift transmission. The car was originally finished in factory FJ6 Sassy Grass Green with the V21 hood blackout package, giving it some extra appeal for Mopar enthusiasts. The listing describes it as either a restoration candidate or a parts car, suggesting the vehicle likely needs major cosmetic and mechanical work before returning to regular road use. However, the clean title and complete documentation package could make it attractive to the right buyer. For someone interested in vintage Mopars, this Duster feels less like a quick flip and more like a long-term restoration project with strong historical value behind it. Number 13. 1967 Chevrolet Impala Sedan, 4D, $2,500, Newville, PA. This 1967 Chevrolet Impala sedan is being offered as a dormant project that hasn't been driven in many years. According to the seller, the car last ran and drove roughly 8 or 9 years ago. Power comes from a 283 V8 backed by an automatic transmission. While there's very little detail about the current mechanical condition, the car appears complete enough to still interest traditional full-size Chevrolet fans. The largest issue mentioned is severe floor pan deterioration, meaning structural repair work will likely be necessary before the car could safely return to the road. The green exterior and black interior combination still give it a very classic late 60s appearance. Overall, this feels like a restoration-focused project rather than a quick driver revival. Buyers would likely need to approach it expecting welding, rust repair, and a full mechanical inspection after years of sitting. Number 14. 1976 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, $2,000, Manchester, Tennessee. This 1976 Chevrolet Monte Carlo is described very honestly by the seller as a full restoration project. The car currently does not run, and the owner states it needs restoration work from top to bottom. The seller originally planned to restore the vehicle but can no longer continue the project. A replacement front panel is included with the sale, which may help future bodywork depending on the overall condition of the car. Very little mechanical information is provided, suggesting the vehicle should probably be treated as a non-running project until fully inspected. The blue exterior still gives the car a recognizable mid-70s personal luxury coupe appearance. At this price point, the Monte Carlo feels aimed towards someone specifically looking for a budget restoration platform rather than a car that can immediately return to the road. Number 15. 1971 Chevrolet El Camino, $4,500, Conway, South Carolina. This 1971 Chevrolet El Camino project comes equipped with a 454 big block engine and a 3-speed transmission. The seller describes the overall condition as solid for the year, especially considering the price range. The main structural issue mentioned involves the floor pans, although the listing suggests the rest of the vehicle remains fairly complete. The seller also includes a large collection of additional parts, including carpet, door panels, and interior lighting pieces. Because of the big block setup, this El Camino has the potential to become either a strong street project or a classic cruiser once restored. The green exterior keeps the old-school muscle truck appearance intact. Overall, this sounds like a partially unfinished project with desirable driveline components already present. It's likely best suited for someone comfortable handling both cosmetic and structural restoration work. Number 16. 1960 Plymouth Fury, $4,000, Frederick, Maryland. This 1960 Plymouth Fury 4-door sedan is a complete project car with a clean Maryland title and several original style details still intact. The seller specifically mentions the factory aero steering wheel and new old stock ignition components. The engine currently runs only with starting fluid or an external fuel source feeding the carburetor. Because of that, the car will need fuel system attention along with brake and general mechanical work before becoming roadworthy again. One positive detail is the seller's statement that the underside reportedly does not suffer from rust problems. The green exterior and matching interior also give the car a very distinctive early 1960s appearance. Overall, this Fury feels like an old full-size Mopar Survivor waiting for recommissioning rather than a stripped-out project. It's complete enough to interest vintage Chrysler enthusiasts willing to handle mechanical restoration work.
Number 17. 1978 Ford F350 161WB 2D, $2,400, Crestline, Ohio. This 1978 Ford F350 dually is a running and driving heavy-duty truck with under 50,000 miles shown on the odometer. The seller says the truck still operates, but currently suffers from a leaking carburetor. The truck features a 4-speed transmission and classic 2-wheel drive dually setup. Mechanically, it sounds usable, although fuel system repairs would likely need immediate attention before regular driving. Rust is openly mentioned in the listing, which is common for older working trucks from this era. Even so, the blue exterior and matching interior still give it a very traditional late 70s work truck look. For buyers searching for an affordable classic hauler or restoration base, this F350 appears to be more functional than many trucks in the same price range.
'18 1964 Chevrolet Bel Air, $2,500, Friendship, Wisconsin. This 1964 Chevrolet Bel Air wagon comes equipped with a V8 engine and a 3-speed manual transmission. The seller states the car rolls and steers, while also mentioning that the engine is not locked up. The body reportedly has rust and dents throughout, and the car will require complete restoration work. No title is included, which may complicate the process depending on local registration laws. Despite its rough condition, the wagon body style gives the car some added appeal among vintage Chevrolet enthusiasts.
Full-size wagons from this era are becoming harder to find in complete form. Overall, this feels like a long-term restoration candidate or potential donor car rather than a quick turnaround project. Buyers would likely need to expect extensive body and mechanical work. '19 66 Ford Galaxy 500 Coupe GT, $4,700, Dearborn, Michigan. This 1966 Ford Galaxy 500 Coupe is described as a solid-running big-body Ford with its original 289 V8 and automatic transmission still in place. The seller says the car starts, drives, and stops properly. The body is said to be solid overall, with no major rust holes or severe structural damage mentioned. Cosmetic work is still needed, including sanding and repainting, along with smaller finishing details. Extra parts are included in the trunk, which may help future restoration work or cleanup. The blue exterior keeps the car looking very much like a traditional mid-60s American coupe. Overall, this appears to be more of a usable classic driver than a total restoration case. It still needs cosmetic attention, but the basic mechanical condition sounds stronger than many similarly priced projects.
'20 1965 Cadillac Deville Coupe 2D, $700, Reading, PA. This 1965 Cadillac Deville Coupe is one of the cheapest cars in the entire group at only $700. The seller keeps the description short, mainly highlighting the solid frame and clean Pennsylvania title. Very little mechanical information is provided, so the actual running condition remains unclear. However, the car appears complete enough to still attract attention from Cadillac collectors or restoration hobbyists. The white exterior gives the car a classic mid-60s luxury appearance, although buyers should probably expect significant restoration needs at this price level. Delivery is also offered for an additional fee. Overall, this feels more like a budget entry point into a large Cadillac project rather than a ready-to-drive classic. Still, finding a titled 1965 Deville Coupe at this price is becoming increasingly uncommon. Thanks for watching. Let me know which classic you'd say first, and subscribe for more affordable project cars and vintage finds every week.